Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon. And this is Ashfaq Khan from CPPX Global. So today we are going to make our third video, and this third video is regarding the fingerprint trial and print standardizations. So in this video, we are going to discuss a very important part of your press rooms. We are going to discuss about the printing inks. We are going to discuss about the Dr. blades, film and paper boards and machine variables. So how can you standardize your printing inks before conducting the fingerprint trials, and how can you standardize your Dr. blade, your film and the paper board and machine variables before fingerprint trials? Without standardization of your printing inks, Dr. blades or film or paper boards or machine variables, you cannot conduct the fingerprint trial. And if you are going to conduct the fingerprint trial without the standardization of these variables, so your fingerprint trial will be useless for your press room. As you know, every printer should use the fingerprint test because the fingerprint is a baseline for fitness test that help that give us a calibration in order to make sure your printing press is capable of printing the lines and textures that you need, or maybe your customer needs. So it also estimates dot gains to create dot gains compensations. So this is a very important to when you are going to conduct the fingerprint trials. So make sure your printing inks are standardized. You have been standardized your printing inks, you have been standardized your Dr. blades, and you standardize your film. If you are using if you are flexible packaging company, so you should standardize your film materials. And if you are a corrugations or cotton packaging factory, so you should standardize your paperboard and also machine variables. Let's start. Okay, so fingerprint trial and print standardization. First of all, you need to standardize your Dr. blades. So how can you standardize your Dr. blades? Like you should standardize your Dr. blades, like who is a manufacturer of your Dr. blades, because Dr. blade, the composition of Dr. blades from one manufacturer to other manufacturer is different, and the performance of one supplier of Dr. blade is different from the other suppliers. So remember, you need to standardize your Dr. blades, who is manufacturer of your Dr. blades. If you are buying from Sterling or Flexo dot years, so you should use the same supplier for your normal printing runs. In second step, you also need to standardize your Dr. blade thickness, like thickness, what type of thickness your Dr. blade has during fingerprint trial, like 0.15 to 0.13 mm. So it will not be useful for you if you are conducting the fingerprint trial on 0.15 mm thick Dr. blade tip thickness, and then after this you are using from another suppliers, so the thickness is increasing more than 0.35 mm. So then blade type, what type of blade type you are using in fingerprint type, and what type of Dr. blade you will use for uh, during the printing run, like radius, bevel or lamella, what type of Dr. blades you are using in fingerprint tile. So make sure you are going to standardize the blade, Dr. blade types. Then contact angles, very important. What type of angle you are using? Are you using 25 and fingerprint trial? Are you using 30? Are you using 35? So make sure the contact angle of Dr. blade that you are using during the fingerprint trial should be also be used during the normal printer. I saw some printers Sometime one operator is using the doctor blade angle 30, but when next shift, the next operator is coming, he is using 45. So there is a lot of color variations, a lot of printing defects are coming out between the one printing operator to other printing operators. So it is very important to standardize your doctor blade angle. Then blade tip shape, what type of doctor blade shape you are using it during the fingerprint trials, and what you are using in the after the fingerprint trial in normal run. Are you using the round edge or and then blade hardness, roughness? What is blade roughness? Because your blade or your blade not only wipe out the inks from excessive inks from the any logs, but also keep like your any logs in well conditions to perform well. So edge width, what is your doctor blade edge width? So these are the variables, and then blade pressure and blade hardness, what type of blade hardness you are using in your fingerprint dial. Maybe you are buying from one supplier, the blade hardness is different, and then you are buying from other supplier, the blade hardness is different. And then tensile strength. What is the tensile strength of your doctor blade that you are using in your press room? So if you are using multiple type of doctor blade with different tensile strength, so definitely the printing result will be different, and you will have more printing defects, and you will have more like the performance of the doctor blade will not be sustainable, and you will not be consistent. So you can, as a result, you can receive a lot of complaints from your customers. So in next step, ink room standardizations. So make sure when you are conducting the fingerprint trial, so you are conducting the fingerprint trial, so you are also standardizing your ink room. Like what type of variables you need to standardize your ink rooms? Who is a manufacturer of these things? Like you are buying the inks from Sun Chemicals, or you are buying the from Flint, or you from Sigworks. So you need to standardize your ink manufacturer. Name colors, formula number. You need to assign a formula number for each colors, and then batch number, what type of batch you are using in the fingerprint trials. Then solid contents, very important. You need to, before conducting the fingerprint trial and before bringing the inks to the press room or on printing press, so you should standardize solid contents. Like what is the solid content of your inks that you are using during fingerprint trials, and what are the solid contents of your inks that you will be used in the after fingerprint in normal run. So solid contents, very important variables, like maybe in during fingerprint your supplier is supplying the inks with 25% solid content, but after printing run they are supplying about 35% solid contents. So the fingerprint will be a useless if your solid contents of inks are not you are getting the inks from your supplier with different solid contents. Then after then density lab values, what type of densities are lab values you're in containing in the lab. You should, before bringing the inks to your printing press, you should also check the densities and lab values, like what type of density, like 1.2, 1.4, 1.2. So you need to you need to formulate your ink, or you need to like design your formula or your formulation according to the density values that you required in the during the fingerprint trials. Then dot gains. How much dot gain you are receiving in 30%? How much dot gain at 50%? How much dot gain at 70%? How much dot gain at 100%? Then what is the pure viscosity that you are receiving from your supplier? Maybe some one time your supplier is supplying 50 seconds viscosity, and maybe next batch he's applying maybe 25-second viscosity. So you also need to standardize your pure viscosity and then print viscosity. What is your printing viscosity, like 16 to 22 or maybe 18 to 22? So you, without standardizing your viscosity or your printing viscosity, so it will be a not good for to conduct the fingerprint trials. Because for example, if you are conducting the fingerprint trials, then at maybe 16 seconds with Zoncup 2, and after this your operators are running the machines for normal run printing jobs at 18 seconds or 20 seconds with Zoncup 2. So how you will think the result will be a perfect? So make sure the printing viscosity is same you are using in normal job that you being used for fingerprinter. Then light fastness, very important. Light fastness also impact on your printing results. So what type of light fastness? Are you using the gray scales? Are you using the BW scales? And what is the light fastness? More than 6 or less than 6? Or more than 5 or less than 5? So very important. Then reduction factors. Very important. Key variables in your printing inks. If you one time, or if you, in during the printing your inks reduction factor is more than 30, and then after this you are getting less than 20, so you will have a lot of issues with your printing inks. So it will impact a lot of things, lot of can cause a lot of defects in your printing inks. So then after base concentration, what type of base concentration you have your in your inks, and viscosity reducer, what type of viscosity reducer you are using during the fingerprint trial. So you cannot replace a viscosity reducer, or you cannot keep different viscosity reducer during fingerprint trials and during normal run. Then viscosity cup. What type of viscosity cup you are using for during the fingerprint trials? Are you using the Zan Cup 2 or Zan Cup 3 or Zan Cup 4? Or maybe sometime some customer are using the, like during fingerprint trial you are using Zan Cup 2, but when actually you will run the machines you will use Dean Cup 4s. So it is also very important to standardize calibrated viscosity cup. So all these variables of printing inks are very important to standardize before moving to fingerprint trials. Then if you are using like paper board as a substrate, or you using the plastic substrate as a plastic substrate in your press room, so you need to also standardize your substrate variables. Like, who is the manufacturer of substrate? Maybe Calabin. If you are using the paper board, maybe you are buying from Calabin, or maybe you are buying from Corsna, Stora Enso. So name of substrates, what type of name substrates, then substrate thickness, maybe 0.2 to 0.2 mm. Then PPS roughness has a huge impact on printing quality. So when you are conducting the fingerprint trials, so just make sure you are measuring the values of PPS, roughness of your paper boards. Then gloss from 100 to 0 to 100. What is the gloss of your paper boards? Sometime, like for example, when you are using a gloss of collabine boards, and when you are using from another local supplier, so there is a huge, I believe there will be a huge difference for gloss. So if you are conducting the fingerprint trial on collabine board, so make sure you are going to run with this job with collabine boards and same gloss values. Then whiteness. What is the whiteness? You all before conducting a fingerprint trial, so you also need to check the whiteness of the paperboard. Then paperboard brightness, grammage. What type of grammage you are using in fingerprint trials, and what type of grammage you will use in normal. So opacity, real width, and hygroscopic values. Because hygroscopic values, some in hygroscopic values are very critical, especially when you have like humidity, or maybe you have a huge humidity. So this hygroscopic values also impact on your printing quality. on your delta E values measurements, on your density values measurements, on your spectrometric values. And then paperboard stiffness. So you also need to check the paperboard stiffness. So what is the stiffness? From 20 are using the 20 millinewtons, are using 30 millinewtons, like are 25 millinewtons. So you also need to check the paper stiffness. But on the other side, if you are using the you are the flexible packaging and you are using the plastic films like PP, like polyester, so then you also need to check the like similar parameters, except few variables, like who is manufacturer for your plastic films, name of substrate, BOPP, are using BOPP, are using polyester, then thickness, then gloss, then opacity of this one, then surface tension. What is the surface tension of this one? 38, 39, 30, 40, 42, 46, or 52. So you also need to check surface tension because surface tension is also impact on the printing result. Then tensile strength. What is the tensile strength of this one? Like how much is the tensile strength of rolls? The COF values. Then roll hardness. Like what is your flexible film or roll hardness? Because the roll hardness not only has an impact on the printing results, but also impact on your print registrations, your density values, your tension, your machine tensions, your like you sometime if your roll hardness is variables or sometimes has a huge variation, so you have to adjust the tension again and again. So very important. Then RH values, what type of RH values you have in your press rooms, and surface energy, like what type of surface energy you have for your plastics. So remember, when you are going to fingerprint trials, make sure you are going to standardize your paperboard if you are using cotton, if you are cotton packaging, or if you are corrugation packaging. And if you are flexible packaging, then also make sure you are managing or you are standardizing your flexible film substrates variable parameters. Another next step, machines standardization is also very important. And how you are standardizing your machines. So like for example, during the fingerprint trials and after fingerprint trials, like for example, if you are conducting the fingerprint trials at 400 meter per minute speed, so you should also run your job at 400 meter per minute speed. What is the ambient temperatures, then unit temperatures, and then impression pressures. How can you make the impression pressure? Then unit temperatures. What is the unit temperature? 50 or 45 Celsius or 30 Celsius or 65 Celsius. Then impression roller hardness has huge impact because impression roller is a backbone for your printing unit. So make sure your impression ruler is like a hardness is within the specifications. Illuminated use, what type of illumination you are using? You using the D65 or you using the D50? Because D65 and D50 both have showing the different results. Then are relative humidity, rewind tension, because relative humidity is very important in your press rooms if you are printing on paper boards and or if you are printing on flexible film. Rewind tension, you also need to standardize your rewind tension when you are conducting the fingerprint trials and if you when you are printing the normal jobs. Unwind tensions, ink flow rate. What is the ink flow rate during the fingerprint trial, and what is the ink flow rate during the ink flow rate? Help you to continuously supply the inks to your printing chambers. Then burner temperature and chiller temperature are also very important. And outfit tension, nip pressures, heat deck and temperature, and then heater tunnels and anti-static values. So all these machine variables you should standardize before conducting a fingerprint trial. If you want to get good quality printing and if you want to achieve good results and problemless and defectless printing in your press rooms. Another example like print fingerprint and print standardization. So this slides will help us to understand when we are conducting a fingerprint trials. Like this is a color registration. So when you, based on your fingerprint trial final results, you can see what is the results. Like for example, if color registration is not okay, it means there is something wrong with your inks, maybe something wrong with your machine standardization, maybe something wrong with your engraved cylinder, maybe something wrong with your analog roller or flexo plate. So very important. Color instructions, then color trapping values, because color trapping values has huge impact on your humidities, on your PPS. Yes, on your humidity, and then PPS values, then board roughness values, board brightness values, and gloss, etc. Porosity is also very important when you are printing with a paperboard or paperboard similar to paperboard materials. So you also need to check the porosity, either 20%, 50%, 30%, or what type of porosity your paper has. So similar porosity you also use during the normal job. Then printing densities. What type of density you are using in fingerprint? Are you using 1.2 for yellow, or you are using 1.3 for yellow? So if you are using 1.3 for yellow in your fingerprint transfer, just make sure in coming your normal jobs, you should also use the same density values. Then dot gains, 100% dot gain. How much dot gain you are receiving? 50% dot gain and 30% dot gain. If your result for dot gain during fingerprint is perfect and amazing, so and if there is some variation after the fingerprint trial in normal run, it means there is something wrong in your printing value and print standardization. Then inspect text inspection and delta values, then print gloss, like what type of gloss is coming on your printing areas. As we discussed in our ink room standardizations, printing inks variable standardization, the gloss should be come same as we are standardizing gloss in our ink room. And then also we also need to check the gray balance during the fingerprint trial. So thank you very much for watching this video. And in this video, I believe this video will be a very helpful for you, and very helpful for you to standardize your ink printing inks variables, Dr. Billard variables, then substrate variables, and printing machines variables. So if you have any questions, how can we standardize, or if you need any help, how can we standardize our variables, what should be the variables, and like if you have any question and you need any information, so you contact to us, you can write to us. The our email address is info@cpexglobal.org. So our experts team will help you. How can you standardize, or if you face your press room variables? So if you feel any difficulty, or if you face any problem, so you can contact us at info@cpexglobal.org. So thank you very much for watching this video, and if you like this video, please don't forget to subscribe our channels for more informative videos, and as well as uh, more inform. So please subscribe our channel for more informative videos and our incoming days. And also share these videos with your colleagues who are working in the press rooms to be familiar with all these variables. Thank you so much. Have a nice day.